Folks, I am so excited because this is the first segment of the virtual boot camp y'all are about to experience. And everything starts with the foundation, right? So when it comes to the foundation, this is your starting point. This is where everything happens. Just like a building, you've got to set your entire business on something that's going to be strong, sturdy, and it's going to last for the rest of your life. And so there's some key areas and key points when it comes to your foundation of creating not just a six-figure income earning potential, but then also 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, because that's what really people have the potential of actually achieving here. So let's go and talk about this. Your foundation is your blueprint. It's your blueprint. It's your starting point. So how are you going to take the vision that you have currently right now, if you're a new agent, a seasoned agent, a builder doing your own agency, creating that, how are you going to take that vision and put it into a reality? And that's the whole point about building this foundation up. So when you're really thinking about what bars need to be raised in order for you to physically take it to the next level. Because, Lord, when we are talking about raising the bar and the whole theme about this whole boot camp, raising the bar when it comes to your standards has everything to do with somebody's success. You know what, Laura? I remember, sometimes we'll be driving by and there'll be these guys that is on the scaffold that you've got this, they got the foundation going where they've got the cement, they've got these steel bars, and then you see these little wooden beams of some sort where all these workers are standing on it. So the scaffolding of your foundation is what protects the workers that are working on that building. So when you're looking at this, think about it in this way. NASB, the resources, the leadership team, the blueprint, we've already been able to pretty much provide it for you. We just need you to activate your standards and then, of course, activate those habits, keeping those standards and developing momentum for you guys. So really, Laura, what does it look like when it comes to the mental game, this attitude, which is, in my opinion, you've got 3 areas that really kind of encapsulate, if that's a word, encapsulate, right? That's a word.
That
right?
encompass.
Encompass.
Yes, that encompass standards.
Yes. And there's 3 areas that encompass standards. One of those is your attitude. Next one is your aim. And then, of course, the last one is your activity. So let's talk about attitude. That's the mental game that people play right here. So why is this so important?
Ashley, it's crazy to think about, but our emotional state, our ability to understand, how we operate up here determines what we see out in our everyday life, right? And I don't know about you, but have you ever seen a girl or a guy?
Yes.
And you have seen a girl or a guy, but have you seen a girl or a guy that's dating somebody that you look at them and they're just like, what are they doing with that person? Like this person, this guy or this gal, they've got so much potential, but then their standards are low for who they are in a relationship with. We can see it. Other people can see it. It's the same thing when it comes to this business. If your standards are low. So you have to elevate and you have to raise your standards. And it first starts with the standards that you have in your mind. The way that you think actually is a standard, right? And we were talking about, feelings. Feelings are great. God gave us feelings, right? We are supposed to feel things. We're emotional beings, but feelings are valid, but they don't dictate the workplace. Feelings are valid, but they do not dictate your workplace. If you allow them to dictate the workplace, guess what? You remain in a cycle. There's people here, I have been there, where you're in a cycle because you will not allow yourself to raise your standards when it comes to your thinking, when it comes to the emotional responses that you have in this business. There's a quote that says, your life can't raise any higher than the standards you set or the company you keep. So that's the foundation. Just kind of piggybacking off of that is, your feelings are valid. Are you grateful versus pompous? Are you grateful versus pompous? Every single person that's on this Zoom today has been hired for a reason, right? You have been co-signed the ability to have advanced commissions, whether to sell or to lead. You've been hired. So do it with a grateful heart, right? That's a standard. I think you said something about a chai latte.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you ever have complainers? Potentially. You hire an agent, and whether it's a new agent, a seasoned agent, and they're the ones that maybe potentially complain about the leads, complain about the weather. Yeah. They complain about
anything.
This senior.
There's something to complain about.
But here's the crazy thing is that they're the ones buying a $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 chai latte grande, stirred up with this, etc. And it's like, You know what they need to practice is this, and I'm going to say this really quickly, is that those that practice complaining need to actually practice restraining. Period. I'll repeat that. Those that practice complaining need to physically practice restraining the words that you're using and also the actions that you're giving out there. Because if you're complaining about the cost of leads, you're complaining about this or that or the cost of gas, but then you're the one that's blowing $200 on a date or, $300 on a chai latte. Just kidding. Sometimes that's what it feels like, right?
And of course, of a month, it can definitely be $300. Absolutely. But that's the first step, right? Is that the foundation of the standards that we uphold with our thinking, right? That's number one. And then we have to have an aim, right? We have to have an aim. And I love this. We were talking about this, like, what does it take to be a six-figure earner?
Yes.
We're going to call that the winner's circle. Because every single person that's on here, you've come to work with NASB, you come to work with the Dreammakers, the Powerhouse team, and you want to be a six-figure earner. Every single person here has raised their hand and said that they want to be a six-figure earner. We're going to tell you what that looks like. The aim to the winner's circle, the aim to the six-figure, six-figure.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about this too, Laura, I think we did a study, and I want to say, even if you're looking at the Dreammakers and the Powerhouse team, my goodness, I mean, it's astronomical. I think there's over 30% right now that are making over six figures. So if you're making six figures right now with NASB, raise the bar and shoot for that seven-figure income earner. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about just that foundation about how to really physically create six figures.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go. So $100,000 personal production. What does that look like? The first thing is it's going to be 30 new leads to you. 30 new leads to you a day. If you have to have 10 approaches a day, don't you think you might need to have at least 30 leads for you to get to every single day? Mm-hmm. I don't care if they're Mutual of Omaha, 50-cent data leads. I don't care if they are gold, silver, bronze leads, but you need 30 prospects to talk to, 30 opportunities every single day. 10 approaches. Those 30 is going to yield you 10 approaches a day, 15 presentations per week, right? Those are some of the activity that we're talking about that's going to get you there. But that's going to yield you $83 monthly premium, $1,000 annual premium per day for 5 days a week. That's 5,000 AP. That is your goal to a six-figure income, 5,000 AP. What does that do? If you write 5,000 AP, about 1,000 that's going to fall off. That's $4,000 that should place, right? So 4,000 placed at 80% commission, 75% advance is $2,400 in deposits per week. $2,400 of deposits per week. $2,400 times 48 weeks, that's with you taking at least a couple weeks off, 4 weeks off. That's $115,000 in annual deposits, okay? So that's $100,000 personal production. Now let's say you want to make six figures on overrides. I don't know about you, but if you can write six figures on your pen plus six-figure overrides, I mean, you're looking at almost $250,000 in this business.
Amen. This
business is more simple than we give it credit for. What's not simple? Us, right? The humans involved in the numbers. But six-figure overrides, that's 15 agents per week. That's 15 writing agents per week, okay? Can you duplicate yourself to 15 agents? If you can be that six-figure earner on your own pen, then that's telling yourself that you can then look at duplicating yourself. 15 agents, $2,500 of reported AP per week. Okay, that they don't have to be doing 5,000. We want them to be doing 5,000, but at least 2,500, right? $2,500 of reported AP per week. That's $37,500 in reported annual premium as a team every single week. That secret number, that secret sauce number is 37,500. 37,500 times 4 weeks equals 150,000 reported AP, submitted AP per month. That's 75,000 net placed per month. Okay, 75,000 net placed per month. 37,500, that's a number that's pretty attainable. That's with a 15% override, an average of 15% override. That's going to yield you $11,250 at 75% advance. That's $8,438 of monthly overrides. 15 agents, $2,500 per agent. It's $8,438 monthly override deposits. That's pretty crazy.
Just in duplicating yourself.
Just in duplicating yourself. Why 15? It gives you the structure to hit RVP. 15 gives you the structure to hit RVP. For those of you that are on track, this is your structure. duplication and competition kicks in. 15 agents, there's going to be a whole lot of people, right? Different personalities. People are going to want to compete against each other. It creates that healthy competition and duplication. And it gives you $100K a year base to build from. Just off of that, it gives you that $100K a year to build off of. All right, 3 tips to get 15 agents. Make decisions like you already have 15 agents, right? If you want to be an RVP, you have to hold yourself to the standards of an RVP. Before you hit that hump, it's going to take you acting as an RVP, right? So make decisions as a regional vice president. Then recruit and field train daily. Recruit and field train daily. And then have no plan B. If you really want to go the extra mile in this business and hit the numbers that we're talking about, you cannot have a plan B. There's no room for a plan B. There's no room for low standards when it comes to the way that you think, and no low standards when it comes to you operating this business. Mm-hmm. And then what does it take, right? You got to know what motivates you. We talk about it all the time, the why that makes you cry. Yeah, that's great, but what motivates you? What's going to be a driving factor for you, right? No cliche things. What's going to motivate you? And put that on the forefront of your mind. Positive habits and schedule. Ashley talked about positive habits, and then having scheduled, and you stick to it, right? There's a saying that, whatever your schedule is, that dictates your life. Your schedule, you make that schedule. So if you make the schedule, you got to stick to it. And then sacrifice no distractions, right? There's certain things that you're going to have to sacrifice. It's different for everybody. Know what those are. And then there's no room for distractions. Have your list of the top 5 things that you need to accomplish, and then everything else, even if it's something that's potentially good or is could be something that you need to accomplish, but if it's stopping you from hitting what you really want, it's a distraction, okay? And then belief. You got to make sure that you have the belief. Without belief, nothing gets done. If you don't truly believe in what you're doing, you'll never hit the goals that you want. Ash, I'm going to have to kick it back to you when it comes to activity.
Absolutely. So right now we've covered 2 other things when it comes to your standards. You've got your attitude, you've got your aim, and this last point is your activity. So when it comes to your activity, you've got to be consistent, because when you're consistent, what it does is it creates this momentum. And when you have momentum, the most beautiful thing happens, Laura. It's rhythm. Everybody wants to be able to create this rhythm when it comes to their actions. And so when you have those 3 things going along with your activity, my goodness gracious, you've got magic that happens. So I'm not looking at the guy or the girl, Laura, that's doing 10,000 AP in their work week. I'm looking at the guy and the girl that's doing 3, 4, 5, 6,000 AP a week every single week, right? And they're predictable in their attitude. Mm-hmm. They're predictable in their aim. They visualize their success every single day. They've got their to-do list out. They already know that their foundation, their standards, who they are as a person, what they want to be known as, that is at the epitome of everything that they believe in, and that actually comes to life. And the neat thing here also, when it comes to your activity, is this. There is nothing more useless, Laura, than doing something excellently that doesn't even matter at all. Have you ever met somebody like that? It's like they're so busy being busy that it really doesn't even matter, right? Yeah. And it's like they're spinning their wheels doing stuff, but it doesn't matter. So if what you're doing is physically getting you closer to your goals, if your activity is getting you closer to your priorities and that target aim that we just talked about, then great, keep doing it. But if you're not doing the thing, stop doing it. That's a distraction that Laura just talked about. So again, foundation. You've got those 3 standards. You've got aim, you've got attitude, and of course you've got activity. Laura, am I missing anything?
No, I think that you're hitting it right on the head. And the biggest standard, guys, is hitting that 10K club, right? You want to make sure that's what you're striving for every single month, is hitting that 10K club and making sure that you've got the right mindset. This is a mental game. That's why we start with attitude, because this is a mental business. You cannot do well in this business if you cannot control your mental activity, right? So in closing, stop being casual in this business. You don't have to do crazy numbers, but you have to stop being casual, and you have to stop allowing yourself the out when it comes to activity, when it comes to what your vision is, your targets and your aims, and when it comes to your mental state. You have to stop giving yourself the out. Stop being too casual. And remember that the numbers are predictable. There's predictability in the numbers. Set your targets. and go from there.
Excellent. Now that you guys have actually seen how to build on a proper foundation when it comes to your standards, your habits, creating that momentum, next up, you ready for this, Laura? We got John on business ownership.